Hey all, Max here again. Welcome to session 2 of the down payment movement. If you want to buy a home in the next 12 months, you are in good company. We are going to help you save for that. Go to the link. If you didn't see session 1 about what you need to do before you buy a home, go back to session 1, linked somewhere. And I'd recommend going through that first before you go to second session. But here we are, second session. Let's go. There's lots of confusion and misinformation and just complete nonsense when it comes to how much home you can afford. So this session is going to be on just that. How much home can you truly afford? Not what someone tells you, but something that is realistic and within your means. Because the whole point of buying a home is to be within your means. Math time! I know you guys all love math and ratios. Here we go. The most significant and first and foremost you want to do is what's called the debt to income ratio. You take your total debts, divide it by your total income. Now the total debts are recurring debts, so mortgage, credit cards, car payments, any other recurring, Netflix, all these different recurring gym memberships. Those are all examples of recurring debts. All these things that happen each month, you take that figure, divide it by your income, your monthly income, and that'll be your debt to income ratio. With that, we're going to do a lot of fun things. I'm a little more conservative when it comes to DTI, debt to income. I would want to see no more than 35%. Now, my material from Down Payment Movement says 43%. Yeah, some lenders might do that. I feel as though that might be stretching yourself too thin. So my recommendation is to have 35% or lower for debt to income. If you have even lower, then you're in the money even more. So 35%, and some lenders will let you go all the way to 43% income. Long story short, 43% or lower debt to income is what was preferred when lenders look at your application. The most important thing, the down payment. The whole reason we created the down payment movement. That's the one significant problem people run into when they want to buy a home. They simply don't have the down payment. The monthly payment's not a big deal, but having that 20% is sometimes really difficult. Sometimes. It's very difficult for people to save, period. Me included. Everyone's their own worst enemy when it comes to saving money. With that being said, the next question is, how much of a down payment do you have? Now, 20% is going to help you avoid all PMI, private mortgage insurance, and different things. So I want to do your best to have 20%. Now, if you don't, let's say you have 10%. Let's say you have $20,000 saved up, and that's 10% of the home. 10% of $200,000 is $20,000. You have that saved up. Good for you. Pat on your back. Good. High five. Good. Now, you want to buy the $200,000 house, though. That's okay. Unison has a home buying program where they will match your 20 grand and make it 40 grand so you avoid PMI and other different things that you don't want to pay or deal with. I promise you. So you have 20, they have 20, you now have 40, you have 20% down payment for your $200,000 house. You're in there. And these are all rule of thumb figures, so please don't take anything I say as gospel. Every lender is different. Every housing market, specifically in the U.S., is different. There's different criteria for every different situation. So please take this as a rule of thumb, not a total end-all, be-all. With that being said, I would encourage you to go to Google and simply type in mortgage calculator or interest rate calculator to see what you truly can afford. And put these different figures in. Put in 35% debt to income. Put in 43% to see what that looks like. And play with it a little bit. You're a financial person, hopefully at least a little bit that you're watching this video. So you'll see what comes up. And if you don't like it, change your lifestyle. Start eating peanut butter and jelly for 3 days out of the week. You have to, in order to be a homeowner, sacrifice. If it truly is a priority to you, you will sacrifice for it. Why do you sacrifice for your children? Because you love them. You love them because you sacrifice for them. If things are priorities, you sacrifice for them. Until you start sacrificing for something, to me, it's not a real priority. One more small cost you might want to also include is a closing cost, or closing costs with an S at the end. Typically 2 to 5% of the purchase price, so just put that in the equation. And perhaps remodeling the house. Are you going to come in and gut the whole kitchen and spend 25 grand on a remodel? That's something you have to choose for yourself. But just know that if the house is not exactly how you want it, you are going to remodel it. The closing costs, whether you're remodeling or not, they're always the case. 2 to 5% of the purchase price. Debt to income ratio, 20% down payment, mortgage calculator, closing costs. Those are all things we went over. Any questions? Please comment, subscribe, like, start a discussion. I want some banter. What else is there? What other repairs or renovations do you do to a house? Kitchen, bathroom. I did my kitchen and my bathroom before I moved in. Yeah, $40,000 later, the budget was $20,000. That's another thing. Your budget is always going to go off your budget. So if you have a budget, say to hell with the budget, because you're not going to follow the budget. I promise you. If you do, I want you to personally send me an email. I want to give you a big hug, because you'd be the first person I've ever heard. Session 2 is complete. Session 3 is around the corner, so stay tuned for Session 3. Have a splendid rest of the week, and see you guys soon.